Hi guys, and welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library. I'm Dawn, and thank you so much for coming to hear me ramble about books again. And today I'm going to be doing a book review video. So last night I finished my millionth or so reread of To Kill a Mockingbird, and I don't care how many times I read the book, it's amazing. But I reread it in preparation for the fairly controversial release of Harper Lee's book, Go Set a Watchman, on Tuesday. I'll probably not be able to pick it up till Wednesday, but I'm still very excited about it, and despite all the weirdness and controversy. And I really wanted the characters and such to be fresh in my mind so that I didn't have to struggle to remember anything in case it was mentioned in the new book. But this particular video is not about To Kill a Mockingbird. So even if you've read it a million times and you know what it's about, and even if you grew up with people like some of the idiots in this book, it's still a kind of heavy read, right? So I woke up this morning thinking, I kind of want to read something a little lighter. Maybe I'll pick up one of my young adult books. No, it was dumb. So I picked up More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, and I wasn't dumb because this was a bad book. I was dumb because this is not a light read by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, this book came out this year from Soho Teen, and I picked it up in my June Owl Crate. So if you don't know if you didn't know before now, Owl Crate is a monthly subscription box in which you get a young adult novel, which is about 45 days. It's within 45 days of publication, I think, is the time frame. It's a hardcover, brand new young adult book, and a bunch of goodies themed around one particular topic for the month. And June's theme was LGBTQ and diverse reads, and of course we all know, if you've been here more than 5 minutes, this is right up my alley in more than one way. So I snagged one as soon as I possibly could, and this was the book that came with it. And I'll leave a link to my June Owl Crate unboxing below, just in case you haven't seen that and you do want to see the other fun stuff that came with this. So More Happy Than Not is the story of Erin, who lives in the Bronx projects, and it's a fairly normalized world. It's meaning that it's not really a dystopia. It's not, a sci-fi sort of fantasy thing. It's really realistic fiction. But at the same time, there's also this company that has figured out how to erase memories. It's called Lateo, and it's kind of, if you've ever seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, it's kind of the same idea, but done in a different way. It doesn't work the same way, is what I mean. And they figured out how to erase memories, and there's of course a lot of controversy about the company in this book, but that's always going on in the background. You hear about the protests, and you hear about different things that are going on, and this kind of thing. So Aaron is just your typical teenager. He's got a girlfriend. He's got all these friends he's grown up with. They grew up in the Bronx projects. Most of them, well, all of them grew up in the Bronx projects, and they're all fairly low income, and they don't have a whole lot, but, this is just their lives, and he's got a part-time job at a local store, that sort of thing. Your pretty typical teenage life, and he meets this new friend named Thomas, and slowly begins to realize that he's gay. Aaron, not Thomas. And things in his life kind of begin to unravel because of this revelation for him. And I'm going to be 100% honest, I did not think I was going to finish this book at first. I read the first 40 or so pages, and I was like, I just really don't think I like this book. I don't like the characterizations or anything like that. So I almost put it down. But I said, I got it in my Owl Crate. It's LGBTQ. I would really like to finish it and see what's going on in this book. Because it was an interesting concept, because I really liked Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and this topic of forgetting is, for multiple reasons, really interesting to me. But so I kept on, and I'm really, really glad that I did, because about 55, 60 pages in, I got really interested in this book. And then about halfway through the book, I got super interested and just began to love this book. I did only give it a 4 stars out of 5 on Goodreads, simply because of that beginning was so slow for me. But so Aaron discovers that he's gay, and about halfway or a little over halfway into the book, a major event happens, which I won't spoil anybody for. But that event causes a complete unraveling of everything that's happened prior. So you start getting the real story of everything that you've been watching up until then. And you get so much more, you get an explanation of why certain characters were acting strangely. And there are several characters that do things and you're like, why are they acting that way toward him? That's really strange to me. There's no real explanation for it. It's kind of taking me off, but I'm really interested and I want to figure out what's going on. Well, once this event happens and everything starts unraveling, you understand every single thing that was going on. All the weirdness from the other characters and all the ways that they acted strangely toward Aaron and why they acted strangely toward him. And like I said, I don't want to spoil anybody, so I won't say a whole lot about this, about the plot specifically, but I did really, really love this book for multiple reasons. And number one is because it, aside from the LGBTQ aspects, it says a lot about forgetting. And for personal reasons, Alzheimer's runs in my family, so this is a very personal sort of issue for me. And the topic of forgetting and memory is a really interesting one that I'm always paying attention to. And this book works a lot with that. Not as much as perhaps you would think, considering the fact that that company in the book is in the business of erasing memories, but you do get a lot about that. And I think that especially toward the end, and it's a really beautiful discussion of it, I think, especially considering it's in a young adult novel. It's brilliantly done. Second, I think that because there is some discussion of Lateo being used by gay people who are having trouble in their lives with being gay, of using Lateo to suddenly be not gay, to fix themselves, to cure themselves. And I think that this book speaks a lot to things like gay reparative therapy, gay cure camps, which are, of course, in the news a lot over the last couple of years. The Miseducation of Cameron Post, which came out in 2012, which I have not yet read. I need to read that. That discussed gay cure camps too. But I think this book does a really good job of making the point that those are complete crap. You know, but other than that, all I can say is that this book was really, really good. I know that sounds really stupid. It's like you can't come up with better words than that, but it was just really good. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm so glad that I pushed past those first 40 or 50 pages. So if you find yourself picking this book up and the first several chapters are just not really doing it for you, push on through. If you get about 100 pages in and you're not really feeling it, maybe you don't need to read it right then. But if you can push past those first 40 or 50 pages, it gets really good. And then once you hit the halfway point and that huge event, it gets even better. And there's a couple of twisty things toward the end, even past that major event, that just were awesome. But I loved this. I would 100% recommend this to anybody. Like I said, I did give it 4 stars only because of that slow start, but it's a really well-written book. The idea is there. I think maybe the beginning just could have been structured a little differently, but it was still wonderful, and I'm really glad that they sent this one in the Owl Crate, because I may or may not have actually picked this up on my own. The description sounds really interesting, but it's one of those things where I don't buy a whole lot of YA. I'll pick up one and I'll pick them up here and there, but I don't necessarily buy a whole lot of YA. Most of the stuff that I pick up is adult fiction or adult nonfiction. So even though I study LGBTQ young adults, I don't massively buy it. So I may not have ever picked this book up, and I think that would have been a tragedy. So if you're interested at all in this book, I would definitely recommend trying it. Push past those first few pages. It'll be excellent. Trust me on that. And I will be back soon with I'm going to try to start doing wrap-ups. I wasn't doing them before simply because I wasn't reading very much because of school, but I've been cramming way more leisure reading in than I thought I was going to be able to. So I may start doing at least periodic wrap-ups, definitely during the summer, because I've been doing a lot of reading. So I'm going to do a few wrap-ups pretty soon so I can talk about a couple of books that I've read. something I wasn't really thrilled with, but that were still okay reads. And I guess that's all I've got, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.